Amplify, Geology on Mars, Chapter 2, Lesson 2.1, Investigating Landforms on Venus. As typical with most lessons, this opens up with a warm-up. Students examine the diagram and respond to the question below. Hopefully they start to recognize that it's related to yesterday's warm-up and the goal of the Mars channel, explaining the Mars channel. Then they're taught about active reading, which is what Amplify calls the close reading strategies they already use in language arts classes. So basically, we just want to take those skills and move them over to digital. So I'm going to open up the projection that we talk about in class, and notice that this is an article, but it's been actively read. There's evidence that somebody read this, playing the mind or playing the movie in their mind sort of activity, and they recorded their thoughts on the article. You can see that there's evidence of a highlighted text. There are annotations on the side. There's even an annotation on the video. And students will be doing that, using those tools to annotate articles. In Amplify, we always read the articles more than one time. First time through, to annotate, just curiosity, explore what it's about. And then the second and third time, if they send us back, it's going to be reading with a purpose. We go over what they consider active reading guidelines. And again, this is a review essentially from a language arts class. To think carefully about what you read, pay attention to your understanding, which means the movie in the mind analogy. As they read, they can annotate text, they can highlight, making connections to what they already know or questions they have. Item 3 reminds them that they can annotate any visual representations, images, diagrams, etc. as well, and that we will always discuss after the reading to deepen our understanding. We hop over to the actual article in step 3. So let me close this and click on the link. And the article is where the students are going to, or where you are going to annotate. Okay? And once it loads, we do point out some of the built-in reading tools, regardless of what article it is. So on the upper left here, we have the narration button. We have a scroll bar, which means that the article is going to scroll up and down as they read it. But they can come up to the upper right and click on the page turn, and that sets it up kind of like a Kindle or something, where or any other reading digital device, and make page turn their preferred method. So they go horizontally from one thing to the next. I'm going to switch it back to scroll method. And also the one thing to mention about scroll method is if they go to page turn, they do lose the narration piece. The narrator option isn't there. They can also search, which, magnifying glass, universal sign for search in the article. I'm going to skip the third tool until the next step of the lesson. And then also in the gear cog settings wheel, whatever you want to refer to it as, they can change text size from small all the way up to very large. They can change line spacing, okay, to improve the ease of tracking. They can also turn on page numbers and paragraph numbers and reference paragraph numbers. They can also expand letter spacing. For those that have the need to increase the white space between letters, you can really expand the text. So if you actually turn on largest font, largest spacing, and expanded letter spacing, you can really increase the size of the words if necessary. I'm going to reset mine back to the default settings really quickly. We can toggle on and off annotations. So whenever we have annotations on the side, we can have them show or be hidden. And then reveal words is on by default, but they can shut it off. Reveal words are these blue words that when you click on them, you get the definition right within the text. And they are the vocabulary terms that are on the wall that we use in class every single day. So it's just a nice, easy way to access the glossary without going outside. Now, in the next step of the lesson, we discuss annotations and then point out that one of the tools we will use is the hashtag. And they can hashtag their annotations no different than we hashtag in social media to reference things later on. And then that's also searchable. And that's when I want to show you that tool in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. This third one with the notepad with the pen. We can come in and we can highlight by hashtag. and anything that they've mentioned in their annotations will pop up on this list, and they can choose any article they've read or just the article we're on. So in language arts, they often sticky note novels. Well, this is our version of sticky notes, except they're searchable. We don't have, our sticky notes don't fall out on the floor. They're here all the time for us anytime we want them. And then to finish up the lesson, they're popping over to step 5, in which they get one question about the article to tie it back to Mars. And that is lesson 2.1.